in the future, which is now, and the near future, which is a year or two.
Well, the only thing I know is I want to be in that 10% that is on the front line of this and use it.
The race is now.
Yes.
But I want to, sorry.
No, go you.
Okay. When we were sitting, we were all, this was actually a quite a moment, when we found out that actually I can use schematics. Schematics are so important for us, and the technical schematics, and then we were all sticking the hairs together and we were looking on the screen. This is just a few weeks ago, and somebody in the team said, "Oh, tomorrow you're going to fire us," or we were all laughing about it. But then it was clear after a while it's not about firing. It's like if we manage to use this tool, we're just going to be so much faster. We're going to be so much better. And drawings are just not going to be an issue to us anymore. And these things are, I think that's, you have to get away from this idea that it's going to reduce. I mean, ultimately, maybe it's going to reduce employees or something like this.
There has to be some
efficiency. It's just going to get bigger and faster and
look,
accelerate.
there's two emotions you should have: fear or excitement. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I get scared every night a little bit about it, but I'm just excited because.
And I uploaded, a friend of mine yesterday sent me a picture, a selfie in the car. And it was just a selfie in the car. You could see nothing but basically the face.
Yeah.
And I asked AI, it was just curiosity, to see how smart it is, What car is that?
If it found
But
the
it
ring
came
on
up,
the seatbelt.
yes, it came up with, this must be a 2022 SUV Hyundai XLR Platinum Edition. And I went like, how is
The owner is
there was
Bob.
nothing to see. And I said, how did you see that? I asked, how did you see that? And I said, well, it's my little secret. I said, how did you see that? Well, in the reflection of the sunglasses, you can see the lines of the dashboard. And this is, so I assume literally, there was a little bit.
There is a game that people play,
This is absolutely amazing.
taking picture of themselves on the street, and then asking, where am I in the world?
Yeah.
And he will find you, he will give you the coordinates of where exactly
By the
you're
way,
standing.
if you think that's cute and fun, stop putting your kids on social media. You can find your kids in an hour, in 10 minutes. It's a real thing, right? So the good and the bad. It's like, it's
There's lots of advantages and things that you can use to obviously get over your competitors as well. But what are the implications with regards to what Andreas was saying, the ethics, as well as if your competitors decide to use it in the wrong way, for instance? So they might say, well, pick up on this business, the problems it's had in the past, wherever it is, and they'll feed it into the social media system, tell a few little lies. It has no conscience.
right.
So they can use it to discredit you because there's no conscience as far as this goes. And is there any legal repercussions? Because some people just, you know what I'm saying? You have crazy evil people out there.
It's gonna happen, right? So they're trying to regulate things like write social media articles and post if it's done by AI. They can sense it, but look, people are evil. There are evil people. Okay. I don't need AI. I take a picture of you, I use Photoshop, I put you in another woman, I put it on the line.
This can scale it 100 times.
It's just scaled 1,000 times. There's nothing you can do about it, right? It's just, there's going to be checks and balances in there, but as far as ethics, that's just people being people, right? Being people. As far as ethics in business, that's up to the user, okay? I don't think it's unethical for me to use an AI, which I do, no matter what company we're about to launch. We use an AI that scrapes every single competitor. It also gives me an image and a link to every ad they've ever created. So if I'm going to go into this business and this guy does $1 billion there, I want to copy what he does. I'm not copying it all. Why wouldn't I? Is it unethical? No. What's the difference between that and hiring their ex-CMO who's looking for a job, who has the knowledge?
No, I agree with that completely.
But there's going to be...
There's going to be things
Also,
that will,
when you talk about ethical, it's the point of view. And if now this is something that's available for everybody, and everybody can do it, then it's not ethical to do it because it's available. And it's something that, it changes with the world. And it's something that now it's the reality. So you can not use it and say, like, I'm trying to be ethical.
No, I will use it.
Stay
but
behind.
I'm just saying.
Or you can say, I'm using
There
it.
needs to be
And that's the reality.
No, look, there's what you do that for, what you don't. So for instance, I said it before, I wouldn't use it, I can do it, the user-generated content, the videos of people using your products, I wouldn't do it for a health thing, that is unethical to me, right? If someone finds out, which they very easily can still today, it's gonna kill my business anyways. So if an idiot's gonna go use UGC videos to say, hey, this menopause really helped my health, and I found out that was a fake robot, you're taking a big risk, right? So, I wouldn't do that. Someone they might win, and a lot will lose. On the flip side, I'm doing business with someone, I'm sending it back, and he goes, and I wrote the paragraph to him, there's conversations like, oh, you use GPT. Yeah, to correct my spelling, I'm gonna sit there and back this. So some people are getting mad about the wrong things. It's absolutely ridiculous. If anybody else says, did you use GPT, go back and go, you did it. It's how absurd, but you have to be, you have to use your own ethics. It's the same thing as anybody can use.
So if the barrier to entry is so low,
Yeah.
right, isn't the risk then heightened competition in the markets?
Yeah, the reason I said cash grab, okay, is I think right now you still have to understand a lot about the business you want to go after, right? But yeah, eventually, I think eventually the winner is the distributor and marketer, okay? Because there's going to be such an abundance of, Menopause app is amazing. There's going to be a million amazing apps, better than that, every day.
Yeah.
So now there's anything you want. So the winner now becomes the distribution channel. How do I get it to them? And soon that's going to be saturated. So now, look, the only difference now is we use our creativity on now how to manipulate the AI. What's the best way to use the AI? Before the creativity was, hey, I have an idea, I fold up a piece of paper that looks like a wallet, the little cash, and I put it all over the floor. And someone sees a wallet, they pick it up, and it's a flyer, clever. This was on TikTok, I didn't think it, right? So that was a great idea. He had to use a printer. So now what's the version of that with AI? We're just getting, right? So, I don't know, man. It's going to be insane. I don't know. I really don't know.
And also it's in diapers.
And it's in diapers right now.
The beginning of everything. Like if you, like you said, like I want to be at the top 10%. Now is the time to do that. Now, like it's the end of the time. Like this is the last
We're still going to shop.
part of the train.
Yeah.
I mean, a year from now, this will be everything. This is mind-blowing. Like, we're in it. Mind-blowing every day. I actually talk to myself out loud. I go, this is crazy. I do it all the time, right? Because every day I'm mind-blowing. This is going to look like a dial-up modem in a year. So what does that mean? How is that even possible? What does that mean? It means I'm going to open the fridge and it's going to make the food I want? Is it like, what the heck? It's just, there will be robots in the house. Like, for sure. Our kids will probably marry an AI robot. No joke. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity, but you can't stop it anymore. So again, exciting or not,
If you think about the business models that just the internet has driven with things like Airbnb and Uber, and then you start trying to extrapolate from that to 500 times the brain of Einstein, what kind of whole business models are out there waiting to be discovered as we get better at using this. So I think it is a massive opportunity if you see it and you're going to get involved in it. And I'm playing around with it, making all sorts of stupid mistakes, I'm sure, but I'd rather be doing that now, so that in a year's time, I'm in that top 10%.
Yeah.
Especially as saturation gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
It becomes a necessity.
Yeah. So my own fear is that it'll be a bit like Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. There's going to be kind of strata.
It really is.
You'll either be in that strata or you'll be in this one universal basic income. I don't really want to end up there.
We're acting all cool and calm and collected. It's like, I freak out daily because in our feed, in our Instagram and TikTok or wherever, it's 100% AI. I think everybody has that, and I gotta remember they don't. So I think everyone's seeing what I see, I'm like, oh my God, we gotta hurry and build things. It freaks me out, but we're still very early. But, not early enough to sit around and wait. You guys are here, jump on it, get GPT, pay for it, and just, if you never see us again, just use it every day. And I would say, when you think about your feature sets, don't edit yourself, okay? When I mean, get absurd with it. meaning we break for coffee 3 times a day. Probably isn't a solution. Don't guess. Is there